So, holding on to employees and worrying about your succession. These are some of the questions that I often get asked by clients about on the business coaching program is how do you hold on to these employees and lock good, you only want to lock down good employees. So how do you lock down these good employees to you for the long term? And then also, how do you position yourself so that you can now have some level of succession so you can get yourself either bought out or sold out or so that you could sell your company on. So this is the topic of this video, and what I've got on the whiteboard behind me is a model. It's not the only model, it's just a model that you might like to consider for your business. So let's go for a walk down memory lane and see if this strikes something of interest that could suit you and your career pathway as the business owner for your business about where you want to help take your business. So this model here works for the benefits of business owners. And what I like to call it is I call it deferred compensation, or the DC. So this is deferred compensation. And what we want to look at is we ask ourselves some questions around how do I attract and hold on to great employees. I don't mean good employees, I mean the reason why you left your employment with someone after you've done your 10,000 hours of training, a number of years. You left to go and start your own business. Now, we don't want these key employees ever leaving your company to go and start their own business. We want them to stay with you, and we want them to be so good. We want them to be outstanding that they can take your job. And if they can take your job over, how can you now gain a benefit from their success? Well, this model will help you. So let's say, and these numbers are very flexible. You need to be able to play with them to suit your state boundaries, your industry boundaries, and whatever is going to suit your particular business. But in this example here, let's say we're paying this chap or this person or this girl $25 per hour. So that, when we multiply that by 40 hours, it's going to come out close to $1,000 per week that we're paying, or close to $50,000 a year. Now in this example here, we want to hold on to these employees. So what we'd say to them is, John or Mary or George, Paul, whatever their name is, would you like a pay rise? Now you've got a choice to the employee. You can say, look, I can pay you $5 per hour as a pay rise. But I think that from when we've gone to and had discussions, you've highlighted to me that you want a career. You want your time with my company to go somewhere, to amount to something. You've also hinted that you want to set up your own business. Well, I'd like to help you with that. One of the ways of doing that is that I will sell you my business, you could say. So what I could do is I could either pay you $5 per hour pay rise, or I could sell you on very attractive terms my business. Here's how it would go. So you're currently being paid $25 an hour, and what I'd like you to do is lock you down to your benefit of another 5 years of working with me, which is great as the employer because you now get to lock down your employees with a pair of golden handcuffs, and they're now going to stay with you even longer, which is great for you as the owner of a business. So we would say, look, your current salary or pay is $25 per hour. What would you do if I gave you an extra $25 an hour? But I don't pay you that in cash. So you get this first one here is cash, stays the same, nothing changes what you're on now. But instead of getting $5 an hour cash taking you to 30, I'll give you $25 an hour. But that's for equity. So what it would look like is at the end of the first week, you've now paid, if you grab your calculator, it's $25 an hour times 40 hours a week times 50 weeks a year roughly is going to be about $50,000. So this is the percentage ownership in the company. And what we do is we turn around and we sell that person in the first year, and they get 10% equity inside your company. So you're selling 10% equity inside your company. So you've now got a buyer, and they're now going to stay with you. But with that comes responsibilities. Now, there's also responsibilities on your side that the business must be profitable. Who would want to buy into a business that's not profitable? It doesn't make sense. So what we've now done is they've paid $50,000 through this employee buyback thing, which is you paying money to them, which they don't really get because you come back, money comes back to you, but they get shares issued for that money. It hopefully will be understandable when you start talking to your accountant about this. So at the end of the second year, you now sell them another, well, you don't sell them, they earn, because of this $25 per hour that they're getting, they get another 10% shareholding in the company, which takes them to 20%. That's another $50,000 that they paid you by not receiving this, but you've really not paid them, but it's now transferred to share ownership. Then in the third year, you sell them another 10% of the company. So now they've effectively paid you 50, 100, 150. So they paid you $150,000 so far for the shares inside this company. Now, you better make sure as the business owner that it's going to be paying them a dividend for you to do this. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Now, in the fifth year, or the fourth year, they buy another. The last payment, which is another $50,000. So they got 50, 100, 150, 200. And then we come down here to the end of year 5. And they bought another $50,000. So in total, they've paid $250,000. And that would give them 50% equity inside the company. 50% equity inside the company. So what happens now is we end up with the employee after all of these years has now got and purchased 50% inside your company. So they bought 10% in the first year, 20% in the second year, 30% in the third year, 40% in the fourth year, and the last 50% there. Now you've got a choice to make, because throughout this period of time here, it is around about year 2 that you as the business owner really don't want to be there. So you've got effectively 2 years to train John, Paul, George or Ringo, whoever the employee's name is. You've got about 2 years to train them to become as good as you. And if you do it well, you will start working less and less and less in the business and more on the business, which is what you're supposed to be doing as a business owner, is working on the business. Not forgetting there's 3 reasons why you have employees. To do stuff that you can't do, to do stuff that you don't want to do. And the third reason, there is no third reason. Why else do you have employees? To do stuff you can't do and do stuff you don't want to do. There is no third reason of why you have employees. You're not there to create a job for someone. You're not there to pay money out of your pocket to somebody else. So what we're looking at here is how do you use your business now and sell it to somebody else. So at the end of 5 years, they've now got 50% equity in your company, and they're now sharing in 50% of the profits, of the net profits that are coming out. But by the end of year 2, they should be doing this whole business by themselves, and you should be only sitting down with them and having board meetings. So now comes the question about what do you want to do when they hold 50% of the company? Because at the moment now, you still have the dominant control in the company. You're still the main shareholder. But when they get to this thing here, you can decide, if you wanted to, that they have to do a full cash offer. Now, that full cash offer could be the remaining $250,000. Or if you don't want it to be the $250,000, you could decide, well, I want to sell that for $350,000, or I might decide $450,000. Depending on the deal that you're going to structure with the employee is the deal that you're going to end up with going out of the back end of this deal. And you could choose to eventually sell it out, or you might turn around and say, I'm going to hold on to this company for another 10 years. I will let them run the company, and I'm just going to be happy and contented taking 50% of the profits for almost not a lot of activity on my behalf. So this is a strategy. It is a process that I take some of my clients through. It may be worthwhile you considering this for your company, but it's a model that I call deferred compensation, and it might suit you to have it as part of your succession plan. If you have any questions, please send me an email, but this is the type of thing that might give you a future and a way out of your business. I wish you all the best and every possible success.